Well, this is the news that is coming in at the moment. MHA has a SWOT report on the Sukma encounter that has taken place where 25 of our brave hearts were martyred yesterday. 300 Maoists had attacked our brave hearts yesterday, and it was a report that MHA has sought. Remember, there has been the second time that MHA is seeking this report. Earlier as well on March 11th, where 13 of our brave hearts were killed by the Maoists around 60 kilometers from the area where yesterday's attack took place. MHA has sought a report. So if a report is to be submitted immediately on what went wrong, then would there be action or not? MHA sources claim the casualty of 25, that's a word which has gone out of our brave heart, is completely unacceptable. Home Ministry is feeling it is being seen as a leadership failure. Operations have to be overhauled at this moment as well, and this is coming at a time where Home Minister and MOS Home are en route to visit the spot. My colleague Kamaljeet is joining us at the moment as well. Now Kamal, even as a report is being sought, the big question is, where is the action?
Well, Devina, this is absolutely seems like a failure, a loss of 25 lives. Also, MHA has obviously sought a report from the CRPF on Sukma encounter. Remember, the DG CRPF, along with senior officials, have reached Raipur early this morning. We are also expecting MOF Ahir as well as Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh to arrive here shortly. MHA obviously feels this is a leadership failure. The operations may have to be overhauled. This is also coming at a time where MHA, during the budget session of Parliament, had patted his own back, saying there seems to be a sharp decline in number of years as far as Naxal attacks are concerned. More surrenders are happening. Maybe it was too early to congratulate its own self. The other bit is obviously about how MHA has failed to appoint a DG of CRPF, or a force which is obviously deployed in zones of Kashmir and in Naxal area itself. That speaks volumes. The other part is obviously about how, as far as the Bheji ambush itself is concerned, which happened on 11th March, where 12 soldiers were martyred. That report itself is not being submitted by CRPF to MHA. So they seem to be upset that as far as the force itself is concerned, who should have reported back to the Ministry of Home Affairs, did not do so. Meanwhile, on another month, a huge attack has happened. This is obviously coming on the backdrop that this is the second biggest attack which has happened after 2010, in which 76 soldiers were martyred. This is in Dantewada itself. Now, in the same stretch of road, another incident has happened, and back to that.
So repeated incidents, repeated intel failure, repeatedly reports being sought, and it's a gross negligence because precious lives could have been saved. These are sons of soil who are protecting our nation. Their lives are not to be taken for granted by the bureaucrats sitting in the capital. Here are two incidents. Let's take you through it. March 11th, what had happened, and that's the seriousness with which the government should have acted after the initial warning bell on March 11th, just 20 kilometers from where the incident has taken place yesterday. Women and children used as human shield by Maoists. IED explosive was used, and then there was heavy gun firing in which 13 of our brave hearts were martyred. Similarly, CRPF road opening party once again ambushed in the same area around 20 odd kilometers from the same spot. Women, children used as human shield by Maoists. Maoists deploy heavy guerrilla gun firing. Similar modus operandi, they are striking us hard. India Today's Gaurav Sawant is joining us. So Gaurav, they continue to strike while we continue to just give out and seek report and give out these words of conscience that we will take action. But where is the action? And that's what is a blood-curdling moment for every Indian. We are trying to build roads through this area, development through this area. Maoists obviously are rattled with the development in the area. And still, we have intel failures where our precious Jawans' lives have been put on stake. Who is answerable?
From what sources are telling India Today, there is a very systematic offensive that is now being planned. There will be no knee-jerk reaction, but based on intelligence that is provided not just by the police on ground in Chhattisgarh, but also by the Intelligence Bureau and other agencies, a systematic operation will be mounted by the state police and by the CRPF. Now, the plan at this point of time, according to sources, is to mobilize forces across the red corridor to ensure that terrorists don't escape from one state to the other, and that is where operations get hampered. So don't expect a knee-jerk reaction. There will be some kind of a reaction, is what sources say, to eliminate or neutralize the leadership of the Maoists. That's step one. And step two, unfortunately, it's lack of institutional memory. Officers come for a couple of years and then they get posted out. Even though there are 40 battalions of the CRPF on the pattern of Rashtriya Rifles that have a 1/3 rotation to ensure that they stay, but officer leadership requires some change. And I've been speaking to some of the political leadership now who say that they will review the situation. It cannot be business as usual. Lives cannot continue to be lost. But, Devina, one thing is very critical, that we've heard exactly the same things when 75 CRPF personnel were massacred in Chintalnar in 2010, when the Congress leadership was massacred in Chhattisgarh in 2013, and also this time. Whether action is actually taken on ground remains to be seen.
Government after government, same promises being made, same war of words that one sees. But here's a big question also, Gaurav, and this is from the article, in fact, that you've written in Mail today. Headless and bleeding, CRPF, which lost 26 men to Maoist attack in Sukma, does not even have a full-time boss for 2 months. DG CRPF post vacant. And what is the government waiting for, Gaurav? Because it's a time where we've been struck twice in the same area by a group of Maoists who are challenging the might of the Indian government. Still, we don't have a boss for the CRPF contingent, where officers are risking their lives from Kashmir to Chhattisgarh to protect the nation.
You're spot on there. This is a failure that Rajnath Singh, as the Union Home Minister, needs to explain. It's the Appointments Committee of the Cabinet that still hasn't appointed a new Director General for the Central Reserve Police Force. And this should have happened automatically. It's almost been 50 days since Durga Prasad retired as DG CRPF. It's a crucial force that's deployed very extensively across Jammu and Kashmir, in the Kashmir Valley, and also in the 40 battalions in Maoist areas. And yet it doesn't have a leader. And this explains their defensive posture. They do not have clarity in operations. The biggest problem is that instead of the security forces, the Maoists are calling the shots. They decide when to attack and where to attack, instead of the security forces being on the offensive and pushing the Maoists, to forcing them to run from one state to the other. So there is a lot that needs to be done in this area. Unfortunately, that focus is lacking. But government says that while they have a special DG appointed, a special police officer appointed to look at these operations, they've also had amazing hits compared to 2010 to 2016.
But
the number of
Gaurav, the fact is,
security forces
13 then,
have come down.
13 in March, 25 now. Our soldiers' lives are being in the hands of Maoists, not acceptable. Here's some more breaking news coming in, which is a wake-up call for the government now.